And to the extent that candidates like Bernie Sanders exist, they're there to suck some money out of the peasants, okay? That's what their purpose is. So, look, I know that's a hard thing for progressives to take. I know a lot of people believe that Bernie Sanders was an authentic, avenue to a progressive future for this country that doesn't look like the nightmare oligarchic capitalist system that's dominated this country for many, many decades. But he wasn't that. I mean, he was an illusion that was up there, and he served the purpose of sucking a lot of money out of people.
I know that the judge actually, part of it was he admitted that the DNC did cheat. And yet, even though the judge knew the DNC cheated, he still went ahead with his decision. Why do you think that took place?
Well, so that's probably best answered with knowing a little bit about the standard on a motion to dismiss. In a motion to dismiss, which is the motion that the DNC filed in this case, when you decide a motion like that, the court is required to assume that all the allegations in the complaint are true for the sake of deciding the motion. And so that's why there's language in the order where the judge accepts the allegations as true, because he's bound by that particular standard in deciding the motion. So then the question is, what was the basis for his decision? And, it's a 28-page order, but I think the crux of it comes down to the paragraph where he says that donating to the DNC or to Bernie Sanders' campaign does not entitle plaintiffs to challenge the manner in which the DNC has conducted its affairs. Okay, so he's basically bought into and agreed with the line of reasoning that was set forth by the DNC in its motion, which says that the plaintiffs in this case have no standing to pursue their claims, notwithstanding the fact that they donated collectively $228 million to Bernie Sanders while believing that the election would be conducted in an impartial and even-handed manner as required under the DNC's own charter. What really disappoints me about our society, HA, is the fact that we had 2 witnesses die in this case. It goes beyond a lack of awareness in this country. This country has a vicious, corrupt core, okay? And the most vicious, corrupt people are sitting in DC right now, running the show. True threats to this, you know what happens to true threats to this system, HA?
What happens?
They end up in coffins.
Based on the WikiLeaks DNC emails that it was Bernie Sanders who was cheated. Why didn't Bernie help you guys or support you?
In order to rise, you have to throw away your ideals. And as you can see, Bernie is still in the Senate, and he hasn't been kicked out, and he's still part of the U.S. Senate, which is what, 100 people? It's a very select group of people, and he's there. So the powers that be have deemed him fit to stay. It's not you or me. We're never going to get any real leaders. No, it's nobody wants to clean up their own house.
I think we're headed for more conflict, and I feel that the Democratic Party is, the idea that they're going to somehow listen to reason and realize that they have to, play ball with the progressives, that assumes that they're thinking other than in terms of how do I preserve my power in this society, because that's what the Democratic Party represents first and foremost. It's a channel by which oligarchs exercise power.
At what point do people stop believing the propaganda machine, public relations firms like the Washington Post and the New York Times and CNN?
So propaganda has every much in this society to do with that as it does with disinformation and distraction. And we talk about, what the hell was that shit in Charlottesville, and there's Russia narratives all BS, and we talk about that. What we're actually doing is not talking about what we should be talking about, which is the fact that we have a Pakistani spy network infiltrated Congress through the former chair of of the DNC. And oh yeah, we've got an indictment against the lowest level guy, but Debbie Wasserman Schultz is still running around doing town halls like, you know, nothing's happened. And, you know, why aren't people so outraged that, I mean, the fact that she hasn't resigned in shame is so alarming to me.
I agree. I agree.
As what we're actually doing is we're spending our energy talking about issues that are not the real issue, which is the fact that criminals run our government and they continue to go unprosecuted. I mean, it's that simple.
And thank you so much for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you, HA. It's good talking.
Thank you both.